Hi, good morning. I can't see anyone except my face and yours. But anyway, good morning, everyone. I hope the conference is going well. I personally could not attend, but I think my colleagues, our chief executive, Francesco, and our IMEC training manager, Rob, is there on our behalf. So I'm quite sure you must all have met them, and we are there to contribute as much as we can. Before I proceed, just a couple of things. Thank you for Captain Shulte to invite me and my colleagues to join. We do believe that he's doing an excellent work with naval connection and bringing not just seafaring on the maritime side, but probably industry that relates to maritime affairs. So Captain Shulte, thank you. Looking at the program and the title, I think it is relevant that we talk about areas that IMEC is involved in. And as you know, other than employment-related activity, we have a large training program, and we also contribute to various industry organizations, providing them with advice and guidance with regard to what we need today and what we will be needing tomorrow. And one of the key issues that has come today, and the word is becoming probably a little bit too much or too many times spoken, which is decarbonization and what the seafarer's role is. And in IMEC and our colleagues, I think we all agree that the seafarers are the key to implement whatever technology is being introduced into the industry. The reason is, end of the day, whatever new machinery, technology is introduced on board, it will be the seafarers that will be running those machinery. And our concern is that probably industry is still not focused or not enough is being done to train the seafarer and to be able to contribute. While we talk about all the new digital and technological innovation that is being introduced to the ships probably at a fastest pace that has ever been done, we do believe that a radical change in thinking is needed. And it is not only just the ship managers, ship owners, organizations like IMEC, but I believe all other sectors of the industry need to focus on the seafarers and how we can bring them up. This obviously will have two components. One is the existing seafarers need to upgrade their knowledge base, and if we talk about 2050, though we have almost like 30 years to go, and seafarers who are joining today will be just officers who will be joining in those days when there will be hopefully to have a proper decarbonization in the shipping industry like any other. And we believe that the people who are coming to the industry will need a different skill set, probably a higher level of education than probably we are used to today. And in order to get there, we probably need to have a very radical thinking in how we think about seafarers and their welfare and their benefits and all the things that comes. And IMEC specializes in this. We have people working on these issues. So technology that needs seafarers to be upgraded today and for tomorrow's. And I think, as I was saying the biggest challenge will be how do you attract young seafarers to join the shipping industry, and how we can make them believe that this is the industry that they should come. With this, I would like to pause now and hand over to Captain. I think Captain Shukla is doing this, and if any questions from anyone, I can take it up. But just on the issues regarding decarbonization, technology change, and the seafarers probably are the themes that is relevant to today's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. As I said, Captain Shukla, if you hear, if the floor is open for questions, so Captain Shukla will moderate the floor session. And as we call upon Captain Shukla, please come on stage. Yes, we are going to introduce the rest of the dignitaries on the stage for this particular section. And it's over to audio.
Hello.
Captain, if you can hear us.
मागेली दोन तुका बेश्टी दोन प्रोग्राम बरे एक हाफ डे आनी एक फुल डे सगळे 4 आसा हय फोटोग्राफी
After a couple of stints ashore, he moved to the then newly formed subsidiary of the Japanese company, MMS Maritime India Private Limited, in April 2002, where he has been since then in the capacity of Director and Chief Operating Officer. Dr. Bernhard has completed a Master's in Business Administration, followed by a Master's in Maritime Law from UK. He has also been awarded a doctorate for his study in the area of marine human resources. He is the former chairman of the Foreign Owners and Ship Managers Association, FSM. The Naval Connection proudly presents Dr. Sanjay Bernhard as a speaker at the FSM 2023.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, Dr. Sanjay Bernhard couldn't join us due to health issue.
And became Chief Engineer in 2009. He joined the Anglo-Eastern Office in 2004 as a Chief Personnel Manager in Kolkata and moved to Anglo-Eastern's Mumbai Crewing Office in 2011 and was eventually appointed as Managing Director of the Crewing Operations in India on the 1st of January of 2019. He was also involved with the startup of the Anglo-Eastern offices in Odisha and Jakarta. In addition to his professional career, Mr. Pradhan has started an NGO called Alavi, which he started in 2009 in Kolkata and now operates in 7 cities across India. The NGO is now supported by Anglo-Eastern and the workforce are the wives of the officers and staff of Anglo-Eastern. The Naval Connection proudly presents Mr. Manish Pradhan as a guest of honor speaker at the FSM 2003.
Mr. Manish Pradhan.
Captain Sankalp Shukla is the Managing Director, Bernhard Schulte, Shipmanagement India. He joined Bernhard Schulte, formerly known as Eurasia, as cadet in 1995 and got command as master in 2007. And in the same year, he shifted ashore in the Chennai office. Sankalp has a degree in international shipping logistics, supply chain management, and port policies. He was elected as the chairman of the Foreign Owners Representatives and Ship Managers Association, FOSMA, and is also the General Secretary, MAPS, court member of INU, member of NUSI ITF Trust, and board member of RBSE. The Naval Connection is proud to host Captain Sankalp Shukla as a guest of honor at the FSM 2023.
Captain Sankalp Shukla, please take the rise.
Captain Mohan is an extra master who started his career as a cadet at the JESCO Academy's T.S. Jawahar in 1976. He sailed for 18 years. He has an extensive shore-based experience of over 33 years. Captain Naik is also a LLB from Mumbai University First Class and an LLM in Maritime Law Distinction from the London Metropolitan University. His interests in the realm of maritime legislation include being an assessor under the Merchant Shipping Act 1956 in cases involving grounding, collision, fire, etc. He has also acted as an expert witness in admiralty cases, ship arrest and release. He has co-authored 2 books, namely Chart Work.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Mohan, please join us.
From Marlow Navigation, Cyprus in 2006 as a crew superintendent. In 2011, he became the head of Marlow's Indian office, responsible for day-to-day operations and actively involved in growing the company's presence as a crew manning agency in India. He also conducts internal ISM, ISPS, MLC audits on board Marlow's full management vessels. Prior to joining Marlow, Wilson was involved in crew manning activities in Mumbai and has also had over 17 years sailing experience on various types of vessels.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Mr. Wilson Mascarenhas. Mr. Wilson Mascarenhas, please join us on stage. Thank you. And now it is over to Captain Sankalp Shukla to take over.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and a very, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all had a lovely evening. Now, the panel, as you saw, we've got 2 people missing from the panel. So, with the permission of Shaukat, I'm shanghaiing 2 people. They are millennials who are seated here. So, Kunal, could I please request you, and please, millennials.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause.
And of course, the youngest of them all, Arun.
I must say, he was very, very sportive in today's morning session.
Yeah, he's been very so supportive in me giving him like 1 minute's notice to come on stage. So
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much, Arun. So ladies and gentlemen, a takeaway from yesterday. Shaukat, the game that we played yesterday was fantastic. Seniors versus juniors. I think you put across the message very, very strongly. The seniors know things, the juniors know things. Maybe not everybody knows everything, but yeah, given the time, given the required skills, I think the young cadets seated over here, they are the future of the shipping industry. Hats off that you've chosen this very, very noble profession, and we are sure what the industry demands in the near future, you all would more than live up to the expectations. So a big hand to the cadets seated at the back. Now, taking a cue from that, we go further as to discussing what are going to be the key trends which will define the future of maritime. We had Captain Belal, who spoke to us, and he spoke about the carbon footprint, how technology is going to change, and what are the future demands, what are the future skills that will be required for the seafarers. We are going to take that a step further and discuss in this forum as to what would be the future requirement of the seafarers, different topics covering that. So the panel over here, I would request each one to speak for like 4 minutes on a topic that they would like to discuss, and then of course we'll go into question and answers. So I'll start with Captain Mohan, Naik, please.
Thank you, Captain Shukla. First of all, thank you very much, Captain Shaukat, for inviting me to this forum. It's very, very nice organization. So far, it's very good, very well received by everybody. And today morning's event was fantastic, really good, energizing for everyone. Okay, so the 3 Ds, I think Captain Katyal has already spoken about yesterday. Captain Katyal, very nice. Digitalization, diversity, and decarbonization, very nice. So these are the 3 things which we have to look forward to definitely in capsule manner. There are also other things which we need to look at. There was a topic yesterday about how we attract seafarers to this line and why they don't stay here. Now I'm going back a few decades. My first shore job was in the LBS college as a lecturer. And I had the privilege of working under Captain SSS Revari, who was the vice principal. A few years before I joined, we had started this BSc Nautical Science course, a 3-year course, where the entrance was through the IIT JEE. Very, very difficult to get through that. He was criticized at that time. What are you attracting? Why are you attracting such people who are not going to stick out at sea? But he had his vision very clear. He said, if you have to attract people to sea life, if you have to make them proper seafarers, then you have to tell them that something else is also available to you. When you are either fed up of sea life, you don't have the temperament of sea life, or you need to just do something else. When a young guy who's 17 or 18 years old, when he goes out to sea, he says, rose-tinted glasses. So he thinks that everything is very glamorous and everything is good. But after some time, he changes his mind and he likes to step ashore. So this was a really path-breaking scenario at that time, the 3-year nautical science course, BSc Nautical Science. And I have seen so many successful entrepreneurs, successful even in the UPSC exams they have gone and have succeeded in having their own companies. So I say that to attract seafarers for the future, we need to break this barrier that look, only sea is not enough. You have to give them some attraction for them. Later on, there was a COMET report, Committee on Maritime Education and Training, under the chairmanship of Dr. C.P. Srivastava. I was a part of that committee. And there also he stressed that apart from attracting seafarers more and more, you need to give them something more to which they can look forward to when they are going to either start a family of their own, or you need to do something different, or you don't have the skill sets, or you want to explore something in life, and things like that. So this is another thing which we need to explore. Secondly, when you are sailing on ships, we forget that we are out of the recruitment network. Those days at least it was like that. Today with the internet, we are having a lot of opportunities to get and gauge what opportunities are there for stepping ashore. And this is what hampers when a person wants to step ashore. So I am not advocating that you should stop sailing, but you should have some kind of alternative to your normal sailing sea life. And that comes with these kind of courses, these kind of opportunities which are available. I'll give you another example. I hope I'm not exceeding my time. When I was enrolling for my LLB exam, there was a dean of law in Mumbai University. She said, "Oh, what are your qualifications?" I said, "I'm a master mariner." "Oh, then you cannot enroll for this 3-year degree course. I'm sorry. You don't have the skill sets." I said, "Why?" He says, "You don't have anything to do with humanities. You know what is humanities? What are arts?" I said, "Ma'am, I was commanding a ship with 30 people on board. So I know enough about, controlling people and things like that. So I know, I was all gung-ho about myself those days." So she said, no, you have to enroll for your 5-year degree course." I said, "Ma'am, I'm already 40. I don't want to, 45 I'll finish, and then I don't want to do my LLB at that time." So I had to literally go to the Mumbai University and try to get this equivalent thing, which is now very common. Those days it was very, very uncommon. I was the second guy who got it. So this, I'm just trying to tell you, thank you. I'm just trying to tell you that there is a different mindset required when you step ashore, and the shore-based personnel, they are having different thoughts about, oh, the master mariner or chief engineer is not fit to do anything else except commanding a ship or commanding the engine room. So this has to change, and that can only change by inventing in yourself, qualifying in yourself, trying to do some different things apart from what you've been doing, your COCs and all that. But that is not the end and all. Just academic qualification is not enough. You have to also put your heart and soul into what you're doing. Now in this panel, I think all of us are more than qualified in master mariner, all of us, and including a lot of people here. So you all know that qualification academic is not only the way out. You need to do something else. You need to keep learning and learning throughout your life, and that is what finally succeeds. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think the view over there was, always education always helps. So invest in yourself, in educating yourself. Malini ma'am would agree with that, with the number of qualifications that Malini ma'am has. I would now request Mr. Wilson. Yes, sir.
distinguished panelists, honored guests, and all the thousands of you watching online at the moment. It's indeed a pleasure here to speak about a topic which is very close to our hearts today. That is aiming at attracting young people to work at sea. Now that's indeed a challenge, because to succeed in this, we have to be very innovative in taking our product to the younger generation. We have to show them the goods that are there and the not so goods that they can avoid. There are lots of things that are happening today, especially where talent hunt is concerned. We are in competition with the other industries. And why would anybody come to sea? Because all, at least in them days that we sailed in, all they knew about sea is this guy has romance for adventure, and at the end of the day he brings a big fat money packet home, he makes himself secure, his family is secure, and everything is gung-ho. But that's, of course, even prevalent today, the latter part, I think, because most of our seafarers come from the developing world. So how do we put this across to our younger generation? That this is the profession that you would like to be in, and we sought you to be in, because the old legs are going off, and there are so many new things that are happening, and only the younger generation can take charge, because they are more tech natives, I would say, not technoids, tech natives. They believe in apps, they believe in online media, they believe in mass media. So we have to come down to that platform and put across to them what is the seafaring about. We all speak about decarbonization and digitization. I think these values are very close to their hearts today. Every youngster wants to make a mark on this planet, just for themselves, for their generations. And when you speak about decarbonization, reducing the carbon footprint, and how we're going to go into green steel, and how, of course, this is all futuristic. But present to them the real picture. Present to them telling them that you will be the ones at the forefront. And hence, years later, you will be the most sought out of character, because you will be the leader in this field. That is going to make them happy. If they have this message spread across to them, then who would not be motivated to work for our industry? We talk of digitization. Gone are the days when we had conditions at sea, tough life, quick turnarounds. Today you have the internet. The guy, anywhere he goes, he speaks to his family, his friends. It's also a value-added thing for him to enhance his education. And he's got things on board where he's very happy to take part in, health, hygiene. So given these pro points, go to these career fairs, attract diversity, male, female. Yesterday there was a topic about female entering our so-called male bastion. I don't believe in this. Maybe in India we had the first lady 15, 20 years ago. I'm going back now 40 years, about 83, 84 when I was a trainee. We were in Princess Dock, Bombay, small cargo ship. And there was a ship behind us that just came in about 8 o'clock in the morning. She was tying up. And there was a big furore on the ship. Arey, dekho, kya ho raha hai, kya ho raha hai? We all ran on deck, on the aft to watch all the dock laborers who were passing by had stopped with their mouths open, with their tongues hanging out. There was fully manned woman ship, captain to cook, Swedish. And of course, even me, I had my tongue hanging out. we're talking about 40 years back now. So they were already there. So it's nothing new. We only have, because of our cultural situation, we've got to put it better across to the ladies. Come, join this profession. There's nothing like a male bastion, it's all about bastion. So, if we are more forthright with information to the younger generation, I think it's going to be a piece of cake. So, with all this said, I say, this is an industry challenge. It isn't just not Marlow Navigation or another company that comes along. It's an industry challenge. Let's put our head together. Let's work on the same platform. I'm sure there's enough of talent there that you can bring aboard. It's a huge challenge to walk along this road, but we look, and we should look at it with optimism. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Arun? Achha, you want Kunal to go first? Wise man last.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sankalp, for catching me off guard. And since I've been termed as millennial, I'll come up with the millennial view. So, I mean, in every forum, in every conference, in every other industry forum that we go to nowadays, we are only hearing the 3 Ds, and which is very good. And I have just one view in all of this, and that is, are we as an industry, with all due respect to the stalwarts sitting here, are we doing enough? We are all talking about these 3 Ds, we are all talking about where the future lies, how do we meet our deadlines in 2030, 2040, 2050. But I am of very strong belief that we alone as collective industry ashore may not be enough to get the desired results unless we percolate down to every single seafarer who is actually going to be on ground, who's actually going to go out to sea, and who's actually going to ensure compliance. I mean, without demeaning our biggest workforce, that's the seafarers, I don't think they have come to terms, they have realized where the shipping industry is shaping. Many a times, just to give you a small example, you tell a seafarer that, now IGF, the sustainable fuels and everything else is coming in more rapidly than we ever thought. So when you call a seafarer and you speak to him and you tell him that, okay, you've got to do this basic training, then you have to get a basic endorsement, then you have to do an advanced training, then you have to go on a ship for 1 month, you come back, you do your certification, and then you are the IGF man. You're all set. Sir, I'm happy on any engine. I'm happy, sir. That, sir, is going to come 5 years down the line. We'll see, you please see somebody else. So what I feel is that the seafarers, the current generation, the sailing, floating staff of all our companies, this is what is my experience, and I'm sure most of us are dealing with this. They are not realizing that it's going to hit us much faster than we actually anticipate. So I think we need to think more on how do we trickle this down to our seafarers. We as a company, we are now carrying out special briefing sessions in small batches of our top senior officers, trying to make them understand that, you are the flag bearers of this industry, and unless you also make small changes to your vacation schedules, your thought process, we will never be able to have a workforce ready to run these sustainable fuels. how will we run ships if our seniors, if our current seafarers don't understand the importance of getting themselves ready. Most seafarers till date are thinking that what is important for them is to go on that next 4-month tenure or a 6-month tenure, finish that tenure, get their salaries home, and that's it. I think we need to laterally shift the thought process to more about involving our senior officers, which I am very happy a lot of them from Thome and other companies are here today, and of course the young cadets. It's very important that we include them as much as all of us to see this industry and comply with what is coming on our way, because without them we can't do anything. So that's one thought which I thought I will put on the table. I'm pretty sure most of us are dealing with this situation, and we are doing small changes at our end in whichever little way we can. And I think this is one point which we as industry need to focus upon more, and maybe find some common lanes wherein we address the whole floating community, the whole sailing staff in so many ways similarly, so that we are able to put our message across that we are not too far away from that, from running those ships, and we need to get the industry ready. Yeah. I'm sure most of us are taking over the new fuel ships, and we are running helter-skelter, pillar to post, just trying to figure out how do we get a seafarer ready to take over that ship. And we need to do something to get past this. Fighting a situation today is not going to get us ready for tomorrow. We need to get a strategy in place as an industry. I know Sankalp is taking the first foot. He is trying to put up a lot of things together, and I think all of us in our own capacities should try and support a lot of such functions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now, of course, the last person in the panel, the most intelligent, Arun, your wise words.
So Sankalp has been on my case ever since yesterday. So he's been on it for a while. I'll just start with a small anecdote. We used to have a teacher in school, and he used to take commerce. And every time somebody used to give an answer to a question, he said, most intelligent, very intelligent. You are the most intelligent. And we used to feel fantastic. Till later, when we had a silver jubilee, we came up to him and we told him, sir, now we realize why you called us most intelligent. Because everybody he wanted to pull a leg on, he used to say, most intelligent answer, most brilliant answer. There was nothing. So thanks, Sankalp. I'll take that in the stride. But a lot has been talked about. I just want to, so I'll just try to make this a little more interactive. How many seafarers in the house? No, seafarers means anybody who's been associated at sea at any point of time. Okay. So please keep your hands up. No. It's a continued exercise. So how many of the people who are continuing to sail now, please put your hands down. People who are who left sea, okay. Fantastic. So almost about 60% of the people over here, give or take. How many of you think that everything we learned, and we are all from different times and stratas of joining sea, 70s, 80s, 90s, How many of you think everything we learned is relevant in today's shipping? Everything, 100%. 100% what you learned is even relevant today. So there's a few people who are saying yes, but the majority view is that not 100% is relevant today. And we all agree that shipping has changed. It has moved on. We talked about change. Change is the only constant. Shipping is going to change. It is there, and if we don't change along with it, it is going to go over our head. The second thing which I would like to emphasize after that is, so I'll just go back to what Captain Subedar had said, mind the gap. No? You've got to mind the gap. If we don't accept, there are 4 aspects to solving a problem. And the first one of that is accepting that there is something to solve. There is a problem. Till the time we don't get that acceptability, that there is a challenge, there is nothing to solve. We can all go back, run as everything is going on, and everything is hunky-dory, and we can bury our head in the sand, and we can be like ostriches thinking nothing's going to happen. The second thing after that is to figure out what exactly is the root cause of the problem, accept it, and then try to find the solution and work to the solution. I think this is a fantastic forum. Thank you, Shukla, for bringing this together. I think one aspect which we see is the rapid pace at which shipping is changing. We are always behind the curve. We're trying to just adapt, always trying to adapt. And the second aspect of that is that shipping used to be, or has continued to be, a very insular profession or an insular industry. That insularity is become very porous now. So things like ESG, everything which is coming in shipping is coming into the mainstream. It is coming into the mainstream thought process. And it cannot avoid remaining as insular as it was. Cannot avoid. No matter how much anybody wants it, cannot avoid. It has to. And that porosity is going to make sure that exactly what there was a talk about what you were saying. Why should somebody join this profession? We're not competing into people coming into this only. It is people not only coming here, it is staying here versus going into any industry across. And I think that flexibility, I talked a bit about it yesterday, that flexibility about being able to come in, step out, come back. So 60% of the people over here have stepped ashore at some point of time. They had their reasons. And they did it. Some did it after 24 years, some did it after 17 years, some did it about 15 years, whatever their time period, that's your individual. Today, that period has shortened, or is shortened. It is shortened. Like anybody sitting over here, or probably in the audience will agree, that the time period for anybody expecting a promotion to the next rank has shortened. There was a time when I was told you would not get a promotion to the next rank till the time you had your next level of certificate of competency. You want to become a second mate, you had your chief mate certificate of competency. You want to become a chief mate, your minimum is you had to have a master's certificate of competency. Today the guy finishes his certificate of competency, or the lady finishes her certificate of competency and wants to go on the next person in the next rank. So there is an aspiration, there is an expectation. That challenge is going to remain. Now to the seafarers, I would like to also say another thing. There was another thing which has come up, which is that who is responsible for developing your skill set? That's another traditional view, that it's always the company. Once my job is to get my STCW certificate. After that, it is your responsibility. You want to put me somewhere, it's your responsibility. You train me for that. Okay, I don't know whether I'm overstepping the bounds here, but it is the context of it which you should get from this. There was a gentleman mentioned here, Captain SSS Rivari. I think the youngsters may not even know who he is. Yeah, but if you might have read his books. But some of us who came into contact with him, and I'm talking about 1996, I went for a course, and he was there, and he asked me, he says, what are you here for? So I said, I'm for this training. He says, no, Arun, dogs get trained. People get educated. You learn. So we have to move from training to learning, and that responsibility of developing or accepting that there is a new shipping which is going to come in, a new set of skills which are going to be required. There is a lot of bodies, whether it is statutory, whether it is industry, can come up with frameworks, with possibilities. But to embrace that change, the seafarers have to also take this on board, that they have to take on an equal responsibility, if not more, and invest in their own skills to come up. And that responsibility, if you do not take, It's a global world, my friends. You sitting here will get left behind to somebody somewhere in the world who is willing to take on that role. And everybody sitting here at some point of time has taken a responsibility of going and doing one step more, whether it was in education or it was to do one step ashore, to go one step beyond what they wanted to do, and that's why they're sitting over here. We've not done anything different. So if you guys want to, and we would love to see you and sit down over there and watch you over here, you got to take on responsibility and invest in yourself. And if you can do that, we can get you the paradigms of what is there. We've taken and chosen a profession, we can get you what should be done. And then you can move on and take on this work. I think the future is there for you. Somebody said yesterday, very inquisitive generation, very intelligent. Absolutely. If you are, show it. Take on the role. Yeah? That's a challenge I throw back to you, boys and girls. Take on that and take it on from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arun. I already know why I shanghaied him into coming and talking. And a cue from here that I'm taking back is I've got a Maritime Training Center, which I'm going to rename as Maritime Education Center. And you had a very valid point over there. A lot of things came up over here during the talk over here. Seafarers coming ashore is something that is required because in future we need another shocker to arrange an event like this. Mentoring is something that needs to be continued. We all had mentors. We've got senior people sitting here who mentored us. We've got Captain Halbe, we've got Captain Talwar, of course Captain Naik who's seated over here. We all learned from them, and this needs to continue, and that ownership has to be taken by us to make sure that the future generation has what it is required from the previous generation to take the legacy forward. Any further questions, because we are running short of time, and I promise Shaukat that I'll complete it in time. Any questions?
I just have a question.
Yes.
If you can just have a microphone given over there, please.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Just that we are talking about 3 Ds, very excellent. I would like to add one more D. With my experience at sea for 40 years on the ships, I've been sailing for the last 40 years, and I think one of the D which we mix is delight. Our experience at sea was delightful. We went out to sea, we had adventure. We went into port, we had excitement of getting into the port. And on board, we had a lot of fun. Number one, alcohol is out. Yes, it has reasons. One of the most delightful things is out of sea. But the delight, when I get a ship into port, the thing I look forward to is that I have a flag state inspection. Or I look forward to a port state inspection. Or I have a SIRE inspection. Or I have a ISM audit, internal, external, third party. So inspections, checks, audits. So there is no delight which is left when a ship comes to a port. Like join the sea, see the world. So if you want good people to come out to see, that delight factor has to come back. And I think all agencies, all missions, everything has to look at how we put back, and more than monitoring, more auditing, and more this, how we can go back to having a good seafarers and a good life at sea, where more people will, or more young people will feel that they should come out to sea. So I would request if we could look at that 40. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So 40 years out at sea, you've seen the old days, you're seeing the current days. The old days, the delight was there. You're seeing that now, because of the regulatory requirements, yes, going into port is difficult. We completely agree with you that nowadays it's a very, very tough job, and we accept the fact that nowadays port is not delight, it's more of a headache, and there's no shore leave, you've got inspections. We understand that, sir. Halbe sir, you had something?
And my question is for Captain Kunal. You raised this valid point about change over to the new fuel and the challenges you are facing in re-educating the seafarers and certification. Very true. But please do remember that this is on the backdrop of the pandemic. And during the pandemic, it came to light that the world in general has been most unkind to the seafarers. Absolutely unkind. Everybody possible. After the pandemic, when the IGF comes in, we now say, it's your responsibility. Come on, give me a break. Come on. Why is it my responsibility? What about your responsibility? When I say your, I mean, everybody on the other side, on the shore side. And despite everybody standing on the treetops and shouting, if you have seen IMO Circular 4204, which talks about seafarers being key workers, and ICAO joined it, and UN joined, everybody joined it. A lot of paper was printed, but nothing happened on the ground. And even today, we continue to be unkind in some of the ports. So in this backdrop, do you really believe that the seafarer will show up front and say, I want IGF, I want a new IGF, I want a third IGF? I think he will do it.
Well, I completely agree with you on the point that we were all in together when the pandemic hit us, and I cannot agree any lesser that seafarers were not given the respect they deserve in every single manner. However, my point of view is that, ships have to run, the global economy has to service the world, the ports, and the only people who can do this are the seafarers. Nobody is, looking at putting a gun on their head, but the only thing that I personally, in my own belief, see missing is that though they are aware of these coming in, they are somehow not relating to it at a pace at which they should be relating to it already. Because the deadlines are not too far. So the point that I was trying to make was that, we need to just make them understand that, this is coming and coming in very soon, and we can't do it alone unless we have them on board, wherein they start getting themselves trained, relate to it more than getting trained for it. First is to kind of get them ready to relate to it, because currently now there are not many who are ready to relate to the fact that they need to service these ships, or they will be eventually going on these ships. So if we can achieve that, then definitely everything else will fall in place as we move ahead. Well, the woes of seafarer, and unfortunately what happened during the pandemic is, I totally stand by with you. We were together in that, and we've seen how it was all panned out, and well, that's another discussion on some other.
Thank you, Kunal. I think what Kunal is trying to say is that we need to be proactive rather than reactive when it comes to what the future requirements are. Thank you very much. And Albert sir, you saying that seafarers were a forgotten race during the COVID? Yes, but not in India. India, in fact, set an example for the rest of the world. The industry stood together. The administration, the immense support that the administration gave us, chartering flights, getting our seafarers back. I think, and Captain Halbe was in the forefront, where I think for 3 months you slept for what, 2 hours in the morning? Because the flight used to take off early in the morning, so till the flight took off, you never used to go to sleep. Please, a big round of applause for everybody here who made it happen. So seafarers, be rest assured, the Indian shipping industry, the Indian government will not let our seafarers down ever. We don't have much time. Thank you, Shukla. Thank you, everybody on the dais. Thank you all, lovely audience. And Arun sir, always.
Thank you, Captain Shukla, but you're requested to be on the dais. Captain Shukla will now go ahead and give you a memento of your appreciation. Thank you for being here with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to this team who shared much insight into innovation and trend mapping. Ladies and gentlemen, also in the interest of time, we would request that while the panel discussion is on, Yes. Ma'am, Leena Prabhu, ma'am, if you would like to join, please join us on stage to hand over our tokens of appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome, I would like to say that, a very charming and dignified young lady. Let's roll in some energy onto the floor. Well, we can keep the mementos as well as the applause rolling. To all our cadets sitting right at the extreme left corner, we could show some energy and roll that applause as well. Let me see that.